decides to reveal his deadliest servant. The one who will lead mortals' armies in war. The one they say no living man can kill. Slay them all. What of the wizard? I will break him.
Okay. We're here to discuss the most kind of wet fart of a TV show I've seen in a while. It's definitely not as bad as what I've heard She-Hulk is. It's mostly just lame and vacuous and empty. But we're here to talk about it. So let's start off with my running co-host on a lot of the Lord of the Rings stuff, the White Dragon.
Muted. Oh, there I am. Oh, yes, the Lord of Rings of Power. Lord of Rings of Power, that's a fucking word. Oh, I mean, what else there's there to say other than I'm just so bored watching it. I'm going to go into a coma.
Well, well, that seems to be the common response. But we'll have an interesting discussion at least.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's bring on the Holy Dwarf. I probably need to get a new intro, but this will serve for now.
Hey, at least it's Lord of the Rings related.
Yeah. So, by the way, I know I'm cutting into Mr. Holy Dwarf's thing. Try to turn down the audio on those clips because holy shit, those things are a little bit ear piercing.
I don't know if I can.
Maybe have to repackage them.
I probably do, and I don't know how to do it. It's very inconsistent. Since I just use YouTube, and I just download the clips in the same way, but it just seems as though sometimes it's high volume, sometimes it's not high volume. It does not make any sense to me what makes something high volume or not.
Well,
I wonder if I still have that that clip of the Witch King. Maybe I can turn it down myself.
I would assume you would just need to go into a video editor or just a video editor and just tone it down and then export it.
Yeah. That would be a bit more trial and error stuff, but whatever.
You know, it's trial and error trying to work with the Halo Reach mod tools. That's fucking trial and error.
Alrighty. So, we've got 2 episodes of TV to go through. I think we can hop, skip, and jump through a large percentage of it.
It's going to be hard to remember any of it, to be honest.
Most of it, you could just summarize that. You can really just summarize each of the plot lines by just fully exploring each one, because
Nothing really
they're
happens
pretty
yet.
simple.
Yeah.
We're in like setup.
I mean,
Yeah.
we just start off with the elf lady going like, Galadriel, quote unquote, like just taking on. Oh, we need to fight the fucking orcs, and we got to fight Sauron, but then they all leave and stuff, and they're like, nah, because one guy got almost killed, an elite fighter got taken out by a troll, but. And then she went back to her home because they all left. And then the other part was, fuck, I don't remember it.
You missed like you forget about the juiciest part about her storyline, how it ended in the first episode.
I don't remember, honestly.
Okay. So you know how at the end of episode 2?
No.
Okay. So the writers needed to get Galadriel in the middle of the ocean at the end of this episode. For some reason.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they needed her to meet some random dude from another part of Middle Earth in the middle of the ocean, and then having her
fucking
get
hilarious, though. Like
her and that dude getting picked up to go to Numenor. So they did this overly complicated method to do this character arc moment, even though they could have done it at the Grey Havens.
Yeah. Basically,
I need to make
it almost like a rapture. It looks like they're being raptured. It's hilarious.
I need to make like a gaff of her like swimming, making. I'll do like the Rocky theme or something.
Yeah, apparently they decided, hey, she can literally swim half across an ocean, apparently.
That's Aquaman levels of swimming capability.
Aquaman has a harder time going across the ocean compared to her.
Man, that's freaking depressing.
And also, what's funny is like Aquaman does it while underwater. She's doing it while overwater, doing like figures, like trying to do like you're not doing like the proper strokes where you go under the water to go faster. You're doing like the basically the doggy paddle or like the typical swimmer thing movements, not like the breaststroke. What's that other stroke?
I don't know. I haven't been swimming.
I forgot all my strokes, but basically it's a harder stroke that usually would take longer than doing it underwater.
Huh. Namor can fly. Yeah. Man, let's kind of go in a semi-chronological order. We start with a princess being bullied by the peasantry.
This like
the Irish bullies, you mean? Hey, I hate you're from the next town over, so I hate your guts.
It's actually worse. She's their princess, literally. Her dad is king of the elves.
Or like brother of the king. Well, her grandfather is the king of the elves, I think.
And these kids are trying to bully her?
Question mark.
Yes, like, let's pick on a noble woman that people like.
Yeah.
It's not like she's cursed or anything.
Who is apparently an Amazon based on Tolkien's writings, even though it's one of the issues with Tolkien's characterization of Galadriel is that the only consistency is in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. There's a lot of... Christopher Tolkien himself said, the main headache that I have is figuring out Galadriel's story.
But that's an interesting, like, I just assumed that the, somebody who originally got like the lore summarized on YouTube and then reading the lore myself is more of like, that's her arc where she starts out going on an adventure, idolize. Let's follow this awesome guy named Feanor. Feanor the moron.
I thought I was under the impression she loathed Feanor.
Well, yeah, she didn't like him, but she did. She's like a Disney princess. She wanted more. Like if they.
Yeah, she wanted to be queen.
She's like Nori in this episode where she can literally both of them can literally sing and dance about wanting to be more.
Yeah, it's like this whole bit where they try to sync the thing. It's like, no, you would not do that to a princess.
Honestly,
elves are not like you would not do that to royalty ever.
Okay, but I only can put just re-looking at the design, like the look of the elf prosthetics, the ears should be more pointy.
Yeah, they look barely different. They look barely dissimilar to a human ear.
They just look like slightly bigger ears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Galadriel has to be saved by a man.
Yeah, her big brother. Yeah.
I hope we get to spend a lot of time with him.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, he seems like he's the best character in the show, even though he has some of the worst lines. That's not saying much, but yes.
But yeah, that's not saying much. I would say this in general. I did not find a performance that felt like already wooden in the show, but the material. It was more like the material sucked.
Oh yeah, the dialogue in this show is freaking awful.
Everybody tries to be fucking Shakespeare.
Like, I get
Shakespeare. I just barely got back from the Shakespeare Festival. Shakespeare doesn't write like this.
Yeah, it's like somebody. It's like that. How people could criticize it having that fan fiction feel. It's like a fan fiction feel where somebody loves Tolkien writing style and they're trying to copy it, but they don't know how and why Tolkien writes the way he writes.
Yeah. Tolkien's actually an interesting mix of modern colloquialisms with the hobbits and slightly more archaic, or at least high speech. They don't go full Old English type iambic pentameter type stuff with the Rohirrim or Gondor or even the elves.
Like they try to attempt Tolkien and everything, including trying to do different speech patterns for like each of the races, but it's not that because of the you clearly can tell the writing is done by amateurs.
Well, they are two guys who have only ever been uncredited script doctors on the movie that killed the modern Star Trek movies. That's literally their only writing credit. And they probably only got the job because J.J. Abrams did them a solid.
Yeah, and also for some reason, Amazon, I don't get these companies when they're doing these big shows based on franchises. They're throwing the newbies in to do it instead of finding experienced people.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
You would think that you give the newbies original properties, right? Them having their own ideas, so that to see if they can, sink or swim, because you want to have your bigger, higher, the bigger budget shows like this. Something costs $1 billion to buy 5 seasons of, to an experienced TV showrunner. So you wouldn't have a basic problem the script is not that good.
Yeah. I think another problem is they've kind of transplanted some of their in-house talent, quote unquote, like Wayne Yip, who we last saw on Wheel of Time, and he's kind of incompetent. He's not a good director. He directed most of the worst episodes, and for some reason,
so I am experiencing something Wheel of Time related. Okay.
yeah. I at least I believe. Let me actually see what Wayne Yip is responsible for, so we can charge him with something. Okay, Wayne Yip.
Please tell me if he did Wheel of Time. Please be the one. She's the director of the episode with the pregnant woman fighting with 2 short spears.
No.
Okay.
He's not the guy responsible for that one. He is responsible for episode 3 and 4.
I don't know what happened in them. I didn't watch Wheel of Time because I haven't read the books, and why would I watch a terrible adaptation?
Yeah, it's one of it makes Legend of the Seeker look accurate, but then again, Legend of the Seeker's a better show for all the fact that it's basically a Sam Raimi fantasy show.
Is it also where Legend of the Seeker deviating from the source material a slightly good thing?
There's no slightly about it. It's just straight up good thing. The source material is ass. It's soiled ass. The Sword True series is awful.
Much like Jaws, because apparently the Jaws is actually based on a book, and Steven Spielberg's hated the characters in the book so much that he wanted the shark to win, so he changed them to make them likable.
Mm-hmm.
There's a similar problem with, I think there was a similar, situation going on with Ready Player One. Steven Spielberg changed a lot of stuff from that book to that film, and honestly, most of the changes are better because Ready Player One is not very good by all accounts.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So, but oh my gosh, Wayne Yip is doing 4 episodes of this show? He's doing 4 episodes? He hasn't done... So it's 3 through 6 are Wayne Yip.
So the guy where... oh no, 3 through 6?
Yep.
Oh no. Oh no. So the guy who was doing these 2 episodes, at least it's like, oh yeah, I actually somewhat enjoyed this. I know it's crap, but it's like, okay, this is enjoyable so far. But oh no.
Yep. I don't particularly like this bit, and it kind of informs the ending, which is frustrating. Where he says
it's like an obvious Chekhov's gun.
It's even a Chekhov's gun that doesn't particularly make sense.
Yeah.
Which is so frustrating.
It only makes sense is that the only slightly makes sense when you know what's gonna happen next.
And even then, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like when he says, sometimes in order to reach the light, you have to touch the darkness. That line doesn't make sense coming out of the mouth of an elf.
Yeah, like for a man, yeah, like regular storytelling, okay, there is some level of sense, but yeah.
Like, I could understand to a certain extent if it was more along the lines of, say, in order to get to happiness, you must press through despair. That kind of thing is a little bit too flowery for my taste, but I can buy that. I understand.
Damn.
It's cliche writing, but I can buy cliche writing.
this is just kind of nonsensical. This arguably is some of the worst dialogue that I have heard in a mainline show. Like, or at least it's just, I just hate the dialogue in this. Then we have a Cliff Notes version of the Ainu Undale, I think it's called, or is there a different word for that part of the Silmarillion?
What, the ending of the Years Beyond the Trees?
The End of the Years of the Trees, yeah.
Yeah. The Years of the Trees is the name of the time period when the two trees light, and
then Morgoth, who the whole thing with the rights is kind of hilarious. Is they have to do a whole lot of chicanery to not talk about things.
Like, apparently they could talk about Silmarils somewhat and mention Feanor.
Yeah. And then they don't mention Ungoliant for some reason.
Probably, I think because I wouldn't be surprised because she is the Silmarillion exclusive thing.
She's mentioned in The Lord of the Rings, but I guess it's just her actions that they don't have access to.
Oh, yeah. I remember, like, I heard, like, the whole complicated deal between New Line Cinema at the time. New Line Cinema and Amazon and the Tolkien estate had, like, one of the most complicated deals ever.
I imagine so.
And then a tabletop company bought a whole bunch of rights to Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yeah. I'm not sure what I think about the swords. Like, I like two-handed swords, but I'm not sure of these designs, really.
Look, the armory is like standard Hollywood, which is crap. Like,
yeah, there's some
like
good.
This is not Peter Jackson's. This is like on par with Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings movie.
Oh, well, I would actually say that at least like they don't have Aragorn be basically naked through most of the movie.
Are you talking about the show or
the movie where he's basically just wearing a smock?
Oh yeah, because the main reason is because they did everything on rotoscope.
Yeah, because like I admire Ralph Bakshi's passion, but the man is crazy. It's like clearly nuts.
Making a half of your movie in rotoscope affects your clearly animated portions so that you can draw over the characters.
Yeah.
So we see that's clearly not Fellbeast.
Yeah. And an eagle burns up, and there's a fight between elves and orcs.
No.
It's probably safe to say that this is just kind of It's fine.
It's just fine when you're watching it quickly, but if you're doing what we're doing a bit with the slow-mo, you'll probably notice a whole bunch of issues.
Yeah.
Oh, he's surprised that somebody shot him in that position? They're elves. They should, especially with the sword maneuver later.
Yeah.
I get it that they're trying. It just looks fine. It looks like it's in a chaotic battle.
It's like two skewers to it.
The orc doesn't try to kill him. He's just hugging him.
Yeah.
Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Morgoth?
Indeed. Fight choreography, my primordial backside. Yeah, that was my impression as well. Yeah. It's just, yeah,
I would say this: the orcs looks good,
yeah. The orcs look pretty good.
and this armor looks pretty decent. Look pretty decent with just like it not like further examination.
Okay, that's hilarious. That's great. I
Make
love
love,
that.
not war. Kill them with hugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently that's Morgoth's strategy. Yep. So we
Yeah,
have
the
this.
armor looks fine.
Yeah.
This
I think
armor, at
for a
least.
lot, like you can definitely see the budget on screen, but it seems as though they are trying to, as Shrek would say, compensate for something.
Yeah, they're trying to. It seems like they're trying to prove that you can make a Lord of the Rings show by throwing a whole bunch of money at it without caring about the script stuff, because they feel like oh yeah, if we just hit the bare minimum in terms of our presentation, or and just show that you can watch Lord of the Rings at home, people will just watch it. The normies.
And it seems as though a lot of the normies are pretty not interested.
Who would be interested?
Well, yeah, because the show, because the marketing was like, in terms of trailers, was like the most Vegas ever.
Yeah, it's mystery box marketing. Yeah.
Oh, that stuff again. Mystery box. Apparently, you can't ever do a mystery box right, according to someone.
Okay, this is interesting. Apparently, a city got flooded and burned. At least this is.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, well, actually, the flooded part, I bet. Okay, so I'm gonna assume this is just visual show. Like the ruined parts is like after the war, and the reason the city is flooding is just a visual representation of Valerian sinking.
The weird thing on the map, there's still Baleriand.
Yeah, it's just only a few mountaintops that are now islands.
And not even that, it's like there's still the landmass of Baleriand on the map in the show.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a point, I think.
Oh, we'll get there soon.
Yeah, I think it should be somewhere around.
I think it's gonna be like. Oh, okay.
What happens
I think it's
if
around
I were
here.
to...
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around there. Or another option is I think there.
Okay. No. Nope. No, it's Middle Earth, but slanted sideways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they kind of just changed the perspective, I think, of Middle Earth.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard somebody say somewhere that they missed on taking Baleriand out, but maybe they were incorrect, or maybe I misheard.
Or
So
they were mistaken, or I'm mistaken. Like, who knows? Oh, look, there's a dead dwarf.
Damn. Sleep.
Well, that looks like the ending of the War of Wrath.
yeah, it does. There's the Silent Sisters from Game of Thrones, White.
Shut up.
There's the pile of corpses, or the pile of helmets.
Like, it is a cool imagery, but it makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. I'm sorry, but I'm still baffled by the one filled with untold penis in the closed captions earlier. That can't possibly be what they actually meant. Yeah, I don't think that that's actually what they meant. I think that that is a weird glitch with the thing that I am using to show it.
Yeah, auto subtitles.
Yeah.
Mm.
JJ writing is bad. Yeah. JJ Abrams sucks.
I don't know. At least some of his shit is actually entertaining somewhat. And unlike this, it's kind of like, well, nothing is really exhilarating at all.
Which ones are you thinking of? Like Rise of Skywalker?
No. I was thinking about like
Force
some of the
Awakens.
Star Trek.
Oh yeah. I think Star Trek 1 at least has some measure of dynamism, and I like Chris Pratt as
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine. I get the too many Chris's in Hollywood. Way too many Chris's. There's like 6 of them, and they're all famous, and most of them are in Marvel movies.
Or some sort of superhero project.
Yeah. But yeah, I would agree. And Mission Impossible 3 is fine. 4 through 6 are the best though.
Mm-hmm.
1 through 3 are just they're okay. 4 is where it gets good. And 6 is the best so far. I'll have to watch this sometime. But
Yeah.
then we have the really frustrating bit. Apparently, Sauron is a sorcerer? I'm like, he's called the Necromancer, but
yeah,
he's a demigod.
he's an angel.
Yeah, he's an angel.
Again, it is like I feel like in the show it's like, oh, they want to use specific terms, they want to use the actual references, but they can't because of the legal shenanigans.
Yeah, the legal chicanery. They called him Sauron. No, the elves called him Sauron. His name was Myron. And then he became Sauron.
But hey, so far on the distance, without seeing who he is, that armor actually looks good. Looks sick.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Also, you might want to lower your volume because I'm going to play a loud clip. Just to warn you. All right, ready?
Uh-huh.
Hello?
Hello.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes,
Nope.
we can hear you.
Alright, awesome. I am currently doing something I do not advise anyone to repeat. I'm currently sitting in the car while doing this. So,
Fair enough.
Yeah, there you go.
So, what did you think of the show?
Let's see. First 2 episodes? Extremely fucking apathetic to everything going on. Like, holy god, I do not give a damn about anything that's happening, and all of the shit that they wrote out, and all their flowery nonsense and crap, it almost always, universally, without fail, comes falling back in on itself. Like, the whole, oh, why does a boat float but a rock sink? And the whole time, but what if the water reflects on the reflects the sky so perfectly that I confused the two. And then they get paired off with that stupid bullshit. She literally jumps into the darkness of the abyss in the water while she was sailing straight towards the light. It's like, what are you trying to tell me, show? And then we introduce a black elf. Oh, okay, that's cool. Why is he here? So that way we can commentate on racism.
Well,
Seriously? Seriously?
Well, here's the thing. That's actually here. Okay, I will disagree you on the whole commentating racism because here's the thing. In Second Age stuff. Oh yeah, that is a thing. Like
They did concentration camps. Oh, okay.
Not concentration camps, but the tensions between men and elves. Yeah, that was
Well,
that became a thing.
I think that it's a different context, though, and we'll get into it. But anyway, I think I should bring in Trip. Please welcome Trip.
Anyway, how is your sex life?
Oh my god.
Hey.
Hey, guys.
Did I
Welcome
miss
aboard.
something?
We watched The Room. That's a clip from The Room.
Oh, so I did miss it. That's a shame. Also,
Well,
hello there,
it's
Trip.
live. Well, it's just you didn't miss it. It was just I bet if I won a bet, Trip had to watch it.
What was the bet?
No, I know. I watched the entirety of the thing, you guys.
Yeah.
I friggin' spammed the comments section raging about how horrid and rancid that film is and how you're extremely cruel for making true. Yeah, we already went over this in the first video.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's just a line from there. So I feel it's only appropriate. There's also the alternative.
Just look. What do you see?
A man fucking a horse.
What?
You should have to put $1 like in the swear jar or something every time you show that video, that little clip.
No.
She literally dumped my clean clothes on the.
Anyway, we were going to invite Valerian, I think.
He's gonna be on soon. He's not in the room yet.
All right.
So now we have Finrod, Felagond, Finrod the Unnamed.
Glajiro's brother. That's all we care about.
He dies. She takes his dagger, which becomes her special
Disrespecting the
thing.
dead.
Yeah.
Oh, if you were on Twitter earlier today, you'd see that is in plenty supply.
I'm
Like-
not swearing.
We made
Why are
the,
we supposed to not be swearing? Because that's going to be a problem for me. You know that.
I don't care if you swear
Okay.
like sailors. I just
Wait.
don't swear.
Wait, what do you think I was talking about?
I was assuming you're talking about something about taking away a knife or something.
No, I was talking about disrespect for the dead. That's in plenty of supply.
Oh,
these
oh,
days.
oh, that. Yeah.
Oh God, don't go there.
I'm not. I'm done with the subject. Honest to God.
It's just so
Like-
depressing. It's almost as depressing as the show.
It is really friggin' depraved. Like, holy crap.
Hmm.
Thanos was right.
Yeah. And then the
Okay,
Iron
so-
Trident symbol. Okay, go for it, Trip.
No, I was just going to say, is this not still the first episode?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I'm pretty sure we can summarize soon as after we're done with setup because honestly the plot is super simple.
It's vacuous is the best descriptor I've heard for it.
Yeah. That's pretty much how I felt. I watched the show, and I felt nothing. I felt like I just sat there and wasted my time, which is perhaps the most damning condemnation of a show I could possibly give, is that it is a waste of my time, and I do not recommend it upon anyone. No, I do not wish it upon my worst enemies.
Like, I'm on a weird position where I recognize the faults of this show, but I did enjoy my viewing of it.
Yeah. I mean,
like
then
it's-
again, my summarization of the show is the same as freaking Zack Snyder's The Justice League. I do not wish it upon my worst enemies. It is extremely dragged out, boring, and vacuous.
I find Zack Snyder to be worse than this. Like, this show, Zack Snyder is way more pretentious. Like,
he also
are you sure?
Yes.
I think the dialogue makes it. I think Zack Snyder is more incompetent than this because he gives he doesn't fully comprehend just how OP his characters are, and how that wrecks the plot.
And the show doesn't slow-mo every 5 minutes. Do like a slow-mo shot to make a moment more important. Like, focus on this moment, guys.
Ouch. My friggin' ears right now.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's like, this one is just more it's not good. I'm happen to be enjoying it for the few good stuff that's in there, more in the presentation side, and it's not awful in my opinion. It's not like super awful. I find it worth it for myself. I honestly, not for generally.
Yep. Well, anyway, next, please.
Done God. Something happened.
No, that's horrible.
The Witch King of Theomar was summoned to the Ring Wraith meeting.
So, Noble, would you consider yourself a Lord of the Rings nerd?
Noble?
Huh? Oh, I thought you were Captain Noble for a second. Sorry.
No.
He's not even here.
It's Ninjato.
Oh, shit. Sorry about that.
Oh, did you? Wait, no, wait, I'm not a Halo fanatic. I love Tolkien. I am a huge Tolkien fan. Like, I'm a bit more loose on like adaptation, especially knowing that the whole rights things is a big problem. Is a big problem in this production, and this could be a lot worse. In my opinion,
that it could.
And plus, like, honestly, with the whole debate about the show, like, if you're just seeing the Lord of the Rings part on the Discord, like the constant talking about how woke it is or it's gonna be, it's like, now, this does
Holy
not.
fucking shit! If I have to hear the word woke one more time, I'm gonna blast my brains out.
Like, if I hear one more time somebody complaining about black elves and Barrows dwarf women. Black bearded dwarf women. I get it. Your suspension of disbelief isn't brought into question. But hey, This isn't animated. The world's not perfect.
I mean, it's just that they don't give a fuck anyway. They just want to do it how they want to do it, and we are helpless to stop them.
And also, honestly, the black characters are the best written and best acted.
I wonder why.
No, it's because well, one is just a minor character, right? And then Arandir, has the more interesting storyline going on. Like Galadriel is just written incompetently is like total incompetence. It's worse written. The Hardfoots is like, okay, I know where you're going, but you're taking an awfully long time. Like this should have been just one episode where it's like, oh, this thing happens and it's going to be important later. You don't need to take part of 2 episodes.
I do have to agree. I think Arondir has one of the more interesting plots going on. However, he does make some really stupid-ass decisions. So,
I did,
it's just like it's just universally, you're not going to see much quality over here. Don't expect much in the way of quality. But you know what? At least this stuff over here is fine. At least it's okay.
At least the dwarves and Arondir stuff are like the best part of the show right now. I actually like generally what they did with dwarves, especially with Khazad-dûm's design, how they made it. It was like, yeah, it's a dwarf kingdom, but here's what makes it unique from Erebor. And
yet, yes, legacy, we know Michael Waldron is the worst.
Who's Michael Waldron?
He's the guy responsible for
writer.
Multiverse of Madness and Loki.
Yep.
Wait, is he a writer in the show?
Enough. I remember.
No, he's just saying that Michael Waldron is worse than these guys. And I kind of agree that Loki on basic concept as well as Multiverse of Madness are both worse than this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that was an instance of me just not knowing what to do with the script.
Yeah, this is more of the case where they have a plan, but they're not skilled.
Mm-hmm.
I was like at one point, like on a previous live stream with my other friends, as I was like doing my first impression. It happened on Saturday night, which was like the day after me seeing it for the first time. If they had like the same, like keep everything the same, but they hired like the core team, hired way more experienced people, this show would have been 10 times better.
Yeah. It's basically, we're dealing with amateur hour here.
Which isn't as bad as it could have been. It's not like Rian Johnson, where Rian Johnson is a competent director, but his ideas was dumb.
He's deeply entrenched in postmodern secularism and nihilism in a lot of ways.
Like, these guys does seem to know, like, okay, this is what a general Tolkien story is like. But it's like, yeah, they're just not skilled.
And they don't really know how to write anything that's particularly interesting or meaningful.
I'm going to say it again. This show is a friggin' parody of the fantasy genre.
And it's not even funny.
Well, I will say this. They could get better. If they at least in this one, I just feel like this team, like, they could improve. Not so much with like Rian Johnson or like J.J. Abrams or like Zack Snyder.
Have we seriously been on for about 40 minutes? We haven't even watched the episode yet?
Yeah. We can skip through a large portion of it. A lot of it is, at least this one is just about Galadriel climbing up a wall. There's very little tension. And the elves are climbing using spiked boots. Fine.
And
I don't care.
It's just like, here's a cool shot. Here's like a cool thing. Cool trailer thing.
And they're basically portraying Galadriel as a slightly out of touch, obsessive type Who?
You know, I actually sat down with my cousin for a bit and chatted this out with him, and we both seem to agree that that is possible that they will take her on the journey that leads to the Galadriel from the films. However, me and him both also acknowledge, equally so, that the direction that the show is heading does not seem to be doing that, because in any other story, Galadriel would be punished for her obsessiveness, and the lesson she learns is to give up the obsession and just live a peaceful and happy life. Now, problem is, we know she's right. We know Sauron is out there, and he is building an army, and she is going to be the one to stop him. No, she isn't going to be the one to stop him. She's going to be vindicated, essentially, which means there is no character arc for her to undergo. There is nothing that she learns, so she's just...
Well, here's the thing. You forget about the bit with Elrond and Gil-galad. Like, after, like, quote-unquote, she left. It's like, Gil-galad, like, the impression that happened at that scene is like, they suspect that he is around, but the whole reason they sent Galadriel away was not because she was wrong, is that
they think that she's
too
stirring the
belligerent.
hornet's nest.
Yeah, they're just afraid of, like, hey, remember that people like her during the War of Wrath? You know how much crap that happened? How much evil was caused? Yeah, let's try to avoid that.
I think the odd thing is, though, the War of Wrath was because of Morgoth being the devil, essentially. And I think the main thing at the War of Wrath, if they didn't go, like, Morgoth would have ruled over Middle-earth and turn it into a hellhole. So it's kind of a weird situation, yeah. But yeah, I think that this line is really dumb. That inadvertently keep alive the very... I don't think that it works that way. If you kill all the orcs are not going to keep going. It's the brutal utilitarian idea.
I mean, yeah, you kill off all the orcs, there's no more orcs. You don't have to worry about that shit anymore.
If you find and kill the evil fallen angel who's in charge of them, maybe things will get better.
Yeah, it's a pretty black and white scenario over here.
Yeah, there's no more complexity since Sauron is just evil.
Isn't that the whole point of Lord of the Rings as a franchise, is that it's simple? It isn't supposed to be this huge moral ambiguity nonsense, even though you can actually find moral ambiguity in it. But the bad guys are clearly bad guys, and the good guys are clearly good guys. Isn't that like the point?
It's a bit more complication of Second Age. By the way, is my volume less loud?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I just trying to adjust the volume to compensate for my higher octave voice. But a lot of the Second Age is like, so Sauron at this point would be still, he would be gathering his strength in, like, the east and the south, and right now it's like the attitude of Elrond and like the elves in general is that of, like, peace right now, because Sauron's big scheme is to disguise himself as, like, a emissary from Valinor and help make the Rings of Power.
And yeah, it's strange. There's a whole action scene where she does find definitive proof that at least the orcs are moving around, or at least are using the sign of Sauron as or the mark of the beast, if you want to use biblical terms, to guide the orcs somewhere, and theoretically could lead them to Sauron. How she knows this, we don't know, since there's a lot of contradictory lines throughout in this entire scene, where they haven't seen it for years after Finrod is killed.
Well, and what do they do? Do
Centuries.
they just check all of the different places that they could go looking for the sign? How does, sorry, but how does the sign being in different fortresses or caves or wherever, it might land, how are they being led there? What do you do? Just go visit every place you can find and look for it?
You know what? I bet the show is gonna reveal.
What?
The symbol, when the symbol is active and glowing, it gives you a vision to where to go next.
Oh god,
Oh,
maybe it'll be like the Death Eater thing and it'll just shoot a symbol up in the sky like Batman or Death Eaters. Oh my god.
Or when we saw Theo, when he touches the dark saber, Morgul Blade or whatever that thing is. I'm still holding on to my theory that's the Witch King. I want that to be true. I really want that to be true because that would be freaking hysterical.
Yeah, but would the sign then only show it to you, the vision, if you were evil? Because it's not like Galadriel had a vision.
Maybe. I guess it's just indicating that Theo is a little piece of crap.
Maybe.
Or easily
Honestly,
corrupted
I'm
because
just looking
he's
at
a
those.
man.
You're saying, Lucia?
Yeah, I just personally think that they're not going to have a very good explanation as to what the hell these marks are, what they do, or how they help the orcs in any way, shape, or form. I'm just going to be treating it as a red herring from this point forward. Until they actually do something with them.
I'm just assuming it's just the not Eye of Sauron.
I was thinking it kind of looks like the Iron Crown of Morgoth. Is what it's a reference to. Oh, Kamul? Yeah, that would fit. That would fit the look. He is the only named Ringwraith, which is kind of neat.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking it up right now, just being reminded. Yeah, isn't he like the sorcerer one?
He is the. He's just called the Black Easterling. There's barely any information on the guy. But we do have a guest in the back. Let me see.
You people have no imagination.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Back on.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Aloha.
Well,
Okay, and I'm just briefly looking at it. It's like, okay, he's set to be in Rune, at least to, the lore, which they could easily change.
Yeah, because he's an Easterling. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I know based on the show, the information, the Southland seems to be, I think, it's either going to be the Umbar area or Gondor.
Yeah.
I think that in some ways, this is kind of. I think that this Mark of Sauron is basically part of the Game of Thronesification of everything. The reason why I say this is because they're just ripping off the White Walker symbols. We'll have a similar thing with the Dragon's Fang symbol, where it just randomly popped out throughout the episode, or Trollocs would just kill sheep in the shape of a Dragon's Fang randomly with no purpose or planning or reason for it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if If that's what you're talking about, that White Walker symbol, which ended up not really meaning anything much at all.
Yeah.
So they seem to be conflating the second and third ages here, because it looks like the wizard, at least Gandalf, turned up probably. So if that's what that was, and that's from the third age, so they're completing that, and then the hobbits are from the third age, but they may have existed already in the second age. Who knows? They just aren't recorded as existing in the second age yet, but they could have still existed. So anyway, how good or bad was this show? I guess things looked all right. The accents were very cringy. The accents I have to take off a point for the accents.
Oh, so there is a vision.
Yeah, I have to take off a point for the accents. Galadriel is kind of annoying. I mean, the actress is pretty, and I like her voice. But a little bit Mary Sue-ish, or maybe Galadriel-ish. I'm sure someone's made that joke already.
The only moment is like this moment, but it is the moment with the fighting of the troll.
Yeah. Or
I
like,
think there's already a disparaging term that was created for Galadriel. I think people are calling her Guy Ladriel.
Oh no, Guy Galadriel.
Yep.
Why? Why Guy specifically?
because they stripped her of any feminine traits.
But she still looks female though.
She's pretty, but she has no. They have specifically stripped her of positive feminine traits and replaced them with negative masculine traits.
I did not get that with. That seems a little bit too much into going a little bit too deep.
Yeah, maybe reading too much into it.
Possibly. Yeah. I don't think that it's intentional.
Yeah.
I think that they just kind of are using the stereotypical strong female character template existing, and then just kind of dumping a Galadriel-shaped bat at her into said cookie cutter.
Yeah, it's like
see, that's the thing though about the strong female protagonist or strong female character archetype, is that the way that it's being written nowadays is that they basically just make it a guy. Like, they give it the character all these extremely macho masculine characteristics, and often the worst ones as well, the most toxic attributes, and then they try to sell that off as female empowerment while also not allowing a single feminine attribute in the character. At least that is the take that I've seen people dish out. I'm not going to say that I endorse this. I am just saying that this is an idea that is out there.
I disagree with that assessment of Galadriel right now, because she's not like the stereotypical modern strong female leader is like a total bitch.
So I'm probably just gonna tap out. I don't think I have anything to bring to the table here.
Okay.
All right, that's fine.
Night out.
Ciao. I'm mostly just gonna slit my own throat, anyways, trying to talk about this shit, anyways. Ciao.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like.
The only thing I will say is apathy is death, and that's pretty much what's going to happen to this show. Nobody's going to care after the first couple episodes, and then once the season ends, everybody's going to forget this show exists.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
It's kind of hard to care much because of, I mean, House of the Dragon is on, so all my TV energy is mainly sent there, and I'm only like half paying attention to.
And I keep hearing House of the Dragon is good, and
it
you
is
know
good.
what?
Yeah, it's very good.
I'm going to find out how to watch it. I'm going to watch that instead. I missed out on Top Gun Maverick, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Northman, to instead watch bullshit Marvel's sludge.
Have fun with that.
And
Bye-bye then.
and I have nothing but regrets for that. So I'm going to go and correct that.
Yeah. So
I want to do a commentary on Everything Everywhere All at Once. Everything Everywhere All at Once is amazing.
Oh yeah, I loved it. Like I watched it a couple weeks ago. Oh, that is so good. Like there was so many moments like I knew where you laugh because you know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and there's so much insanity in that show. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how much to read into the whole strong woman thing. It seems to have become a cliche. Oh, pardon me 1 second. This is going to make a noise. There. I just had to get that thing out of the way of my mic. Sorry about that. What was I saying about? Yeah, it's kind of like the cliche now. Whereas, like, if you go back 50 years ago, the cliche was the women were basically not like years from being bimbos, and the chap was like a womanizer, like Captain Kirk. So I don't know if
Or
it's.
James
I guess.
Bond.
Yeah, or James Bond. So this cliche is a little bit less bad than that, anyway. So I'll give it that.
Or the strong female
guess.
lady back in like the 80s is like it was not like was more of like the woman who had like a military job, and she's trying to say, "Oh, I'm not just a woman." It's like explicitly, I'm not a woman, and then she completely fails.
Yeah. So Trip, what are your thoughts as the token female on the stream?
Really?
Really? Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
Oh my god.
Yep.
What are my thoughts on what? The commentary that was just happening, or just the show
Yes.
in general? Oh my god.
You can do both.
Or anything, you know,
Both is
really.
good.
I don't know. I am, I guess, what you would call an old school feminist, or first wave, or what the fuck ever they call it these days, because I just simply believe in. I don't know. I'm really tired. So, yeah, I guess what it comes down to for me is in the shows that we see currently, they really seem to feel like that to make women strong and equal, that they need to take power away from the men to give to the women. And that is completely the wrong way to go about it. Each has strengths of their own. And what works best is when they come together and combine those strengths and those skills. And I think Rings of Power is falling a little bit prey to that, and to common cultural wishes right now, or what people want to be the norms, which is to take Galadriel and kind of make her that really strong warrior female character that is the one who's, going to like be the heroine and solve the problems and can swim the English Channel. I don't even know how wide the English Channel is, but the distance she swims has to be, like what, 30 times that or something. And it's ridiculous. Don't do that. That's not what we need to see. We need to see Galadriel just kind of a woman who does have warrior skills if they want, but maybe she's not even going to be the leader. I think they just push it way too far once again in this show, just like they do in Wheel of Time and so much other crap that we see out there. And all it really does is destroy the message they're trying to send. So I find it pretty disgusting. And the show overall, and I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I mean, I read it when I was really young, when I was like 11 or 12, and that was a long time before any of you guys. So,
Not really.
oh, let's not go there. Tarek already about had heart failure, so let's just not go there again. But
I think. No, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, so this is really a disappointment, just like Wheel of Time was. And like Kai said earlier, it's not really, there's not even that much to make fun of, except this particular scene right here that we happen to be on. But yeah, it's kind of like even on a rewatch, there's not a lot of things you can even make fun of that much, you know? So
Except the accents, but they make fun of themselves.
I do want to just Ozark Eagle. The only thing is that one of the main problems, they can't just simply adapt the original source material for this show or even a movie, because specifically the Second Age is that the material that we have of the Second Age is the equivalent of the Bible, where it's in terms of if you read like the Bible and history, I'm not sure about the Quran, but it's overly general. It's not very specific enough compared to The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Not to mention that they can't even adapt like the Silmarillion or Unfinished Tales, as I understand it. So they're adapting like 9 pages from the appendices of Lord of the Rings. So it's kind of awkward to turn that into a full-fledged television series.
I ascribe to the theory that the Tolkien Escape deliberately screwed over Amazon and said, "Okay, we'll give you rights, but we'll only give you 9 pages of the appendices.
Yeah,
we still want $250 million for the rights."
I think Amazon screwed themselves over because sometimes they're just not smart enough not to. But you know, people.
That maneuver. My favorite part of that scene is that they treat it as if this is just a normal maneuver. Like, hey, we need to fight this troll. All right, I need to run up. Use the sword as a trampoline.
You were saying, Trev?
Oh, yeah.
No. You know, one of the things we hear about a lot, and I can't remember who was saying this, but you're going to cringe because I'm going to bring it up. But the whole representation issue of, well, how can I enjoy a show if I'm not represented? So if I'm a strong female, then, you know, we've got to have that in the show, or I'm not represented, or a person of color, or whatever the case may be. And I'm sorry, I don't watch fantasy or read fantasy to be represented. I'm usually taking part in fantasy or sci-fi because I want to escape my fucking reality and enjoy something, not because I want to see myself reflected there.
Well, I mean, if I'm as a white chap, I can expect to see myself reflected in fantasy. That has not always been the case for people of color. So I can understand why they would not want to have just a whole bunch of white people on screen. I also have to be aware that I don't necessarily know what it's like to be a person of color. So I need to kind of understand that, be aware of that, and say, okay, if it's important to them to see someone of color, and it's not a problem precisely because it's fantasy. It's not really a problem to have people of color in there. I mean, I would prefer if they give a reason for it, in world reason for it. But it's not. But I don't have any problem with that whatsoever.
I think it's basically the pushing of it and the politicization of diversity rather than just saying, no, we're just going to have more people of color in stuff, as opposed to saying, if you don't like people of color in this, you're racist.
Well, if you don't like people of color, maybe you do have some kind of issue. But anyway.
Well, and my point...
One at a time, please. One at a time.
All right.
Ninja?
Oh no,
Lucia?
I was just what to say. Wissia is going next.
Yeah, okay. Lucia,
All right.
go.
Look, all I'm going to say is, if I see an Arab guy in like a medieval European fantasy setting, all I'm gonna wonder is, all right, when's the part where he starts calling them a bunch of disgusting, filthy pigs, or when's the part where he enslaves them, or is an invasion on the way?
Okay. Yeah, I think another problem is like the problem that has kind of come up with a lot of things that do seem to be pushing the diversity angle. It's not the diversity itself that is the problem. It's the diversity as associated with the bad product. That is the problem. They also don't generally utilize their actors very well. Take a look at John Boyega in Star Wars, who has specifically come out complaining that they had no idea what to do with his character, and I agree with that. Same with Kelly Marie Tran in Star Wars. The main issue that I would say, diversity is not in itself bad. It is not in itself good as a story element. It's good as a meta thing to say, yes, these people are getting employment, and they are not being discriminated against. That is a good thing. The problem is the writers, most of which are white dudes, trying to write people of color, and they're failing miserably.
Well, I mean, they're probably failing to write. They probably fail to write even if they weren't of color, though. So because they're failing to write full stop.
Yeah, I will say this. The way I kind of view it now, I finally just remembering something when it comes to like diversity in terms of actors who's playing certain characters. I was reminded about Shakespeare, and in a lot of Shakespeare plays and even adaptations, they have people of color playing different
roles.
Different roles that are meant to be European.
Like the actress who played Swan Sanche in Wheel of Time played Margaret of Anjou in The Hollow Crown, for example.
Yeah,
and Denzel Washington was in one of Kenneth Branagh's comedy Shakespeare adaptations.
Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah, pardon me, but let Ninja talk, please.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is that like having like a black female dwarf or like a black elf in Rings of Power doesn't really break my suspension of disbelief, especially with live actions, because I know how the industry kind of works nowadays when it comes to films and how people get jobs and stuff. And on that, I care more about the writing and how well it represents the original source material elsewhere to compensate for the limitations of live action. Now, if it is animated, we have a tradition of people of multiple ethnicities just playing like white dudes or like white people, or like that's not really an issue where you can just draw what the character is supposed to look, and then you have any actor voices them, and people will recognize that it's a black actor if they're into voice acting.
Look, yeah, the Ninja over here, you and Dunn, you both basically touched on my actual takeaway around. Like, I do not care about the race or gender ethnicity of the characters. Like, just give me a good story. Just give me a good story with them, and I'll be happy. I'll be fine. And I also wanted to briefly touch on something that Tripp said earlier. This whole entire show reeks of overcompensation in every department.
Well, and
right, that's it.
To just expand just a touch, because I don't want my comments to come off wrong. What you guys have said, I agree with. What really bothers me is if it's a good show, if it's well written, well acted, keeps me engaged, I don't even notice right? And honestly, in this particular show, the dwarves are my favorite part of the show. So I have no problem with is it a reindeer?
Yeah.
The black elf, and then I can't remember her Disa,
Technically,
right?
Geese, unfortunately, it should be
Right.
just going Geese.
Well, but I actually like they're two of kind of my favorite characters in the show so far, if I could have a favorite, which yeah. But it's more the PR that, has like pushed it at us. And that then when I watch the show, I'm affected by that because I've seen that PR and it's irritated me. And I'm like, just stop. Just give me a good show to watch. And I don't really care about the diversity or anything like that. But then, and there's also the whole strong woman thing. And for whatever reason, the way they do it now is so insulting to me as opposed to like watching Xena Warrior Princess, right? So I've never really analyzed what the difference is, other than one is just kind of this is a great show, and the other is they make it very obvious what they're doing, and it's very insulting because I don't need that. I'm either strong on my own or I'm not. And see, her sword is broken, and I don't know why.
And D, the accents are cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my problem. That's my problem with the dwarves, actually. I mean, that was my issue with Disa too. Not so much. I mean, not her color was fine. Her being a black female dwarf was fine, and her not having a beard is fine. I think that's a stupid objection, but the accents are kind of fake, and the hobbits have these. Well, fake, but good. Sure, these accents are kind of cringe. I want to know. Sure, they're cringe. So, sure, fake, God, they're cringe. I just give myself a. I just killed my throat doing that. But anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah. And our hearts
Our
are even
terrible accents
bigger in
during
our.
the former.
Sorry, go for it.
Our terrible accents during the Borman reading were was more convincing.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, even Brightlord does better accents than that.
Well, thank you, sugar.
Oh
Nice streaming.
God!
We lost Wissia. Oh, great.
His Wi-Fi probably
You killed him,
itself.
Don.
No, his Wi-Fi killed him.
Oh.
But yeah, so I understand. Like for me, I'm just like I just kind of don't care. My problem more lies in them yelling, them preaching at me, and using the people of color as a shield. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, this show had.
Yeah, that's my problem. My problem is not with the diversity. My problem is how the actors are used as meat shields. That is the problem.
Well, you are a privileged white male, you know.
I know. I just like all people being treated well.
I know.
Yeah.
I just think Amazon's marketing sucked, and also I think this show had became just the latest run of Culture War BS.
Yeah. I think also the showrunners kind of decided to play into it a little bit, at least with some of the actors' comments. And it's kind of sad because I'm just like, it's kind of a complicated issue because on one hand, it will get views and circulation, but there are people that will just say, I'm not interested. I'm tuning out. And
then you're just encouraging YouTubers just to make
very bad videos. Yeah.
That's going to be dated within 2 seconds.
There's also the element of they have that it is official that I believe that Disney, Warner Brothers, and Amazon all have diversity quotas that each of their shows has to meet. So
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
So I'm
That's
like,
kind of lazy.
I think it's also tied to federal funding.
yes.
Wait,
Anyway.
is Amazon getting federal? Is Amazon getting federal funding?
Yeah. So for
What?
certain. Okay. So this is actually also in the comic book stuff that's rumored. So essentially, the government has a special department that gives money to companies to pay for losses as long as it push a diversity agenda.
Oh,
Wow. That's a lot of bullshit.
Like
I
that,
don't
like
mean that I
it's-
don't believe you. I mean that this system sounds like a lot of bullcrap.
Yeah, that's like the latest theory. There is something like that. It's not like I don't have concrete information that it's true, but it's highly likely of why comic book companies like mainly Marvel and DC are able just to wreck their comic book sales and still say, "Hey, we make a profit."
Well, I
Yep.
wonder if there is some kind of diversity tied into tax credits for filmmakers too. Never even occurred to me, but it could happen.
So it's basically just fully greed.
Well,
well,
hello.
that's basically. I mean, if you're talking about a mega corporation like Amazon and greed, Amazon is Valyrian for greed, or Elvish for greed, or whatever language you want to use for
Yeah.
greed. So yeah, they're doing it all for money. Yeah.
I think that they are doing it for money. It's kind of weird though, where the people that they're hiring seem like they're true believers in this message, and the message in and of itself is fine. It's just the delivery of said message has made the message somewhat distasteful.
Cough, cough. House of the Dragon.
Yeah, it's probably
Cough,
it's,
So
it probably has something to do with the fact that BlackRock is investing in that. There's
okay.
there's an investment firm called BlackRock. It has a rating system if based upon how much you push for diversity and inclusion and such. And this rating system determines whether or not they recommend investing in this company over here. Disney is partially owned by the BlackRock investment firm, and they care about that number. So there you go.
Well, I guess it's better that they make money and be diverse than make money and not be diverse. So I guess.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah, if you had to pick one of the two.
Anyway.
I think the problem is just that most of the stuff they put out just kind of gives people of color a bad name.
Yep. Again, cough, cough. House of the Dragon. Cough, cough. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, House of the Dragon is much better than this. At least House of the Dragon is interesting.
Yeah.
Alright, are we done with the Galadriel stuff?
Yeah, I think we need to just keep going a hop, skip, and jump because there's not much plot at all in this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
honestly, we could just talk about like, oh, this plot line. What do you think of this one?
Oh, this is
Like,
cool. I didn't see this. Sorry.
Yeah, so apparently there's some kind of prophecy book by this Zadok? Sadok?
Yeah.
Who's that? Is that a dwarf or what?
That's a hobbit.
These are Harfoots. These are Harfoots, aka the Gilly Gypsies. The gypsies that live in Gilly tents.
Okay.
I hate you so much right now.
So what were those bizarre antlery things?
Because I'm sorry.
The bizarre antlery things? No idea. Hunters. Apparently they're stuck at hunting though.
Yeah.
Because all they have is antlers.
They seem to have a great interest in being camouflaged.
Yeah, the Gilly jokes. Their tents are full of Gilly suits.
Yeah.
I do have to wonder,
Except that-
how long does it take for them to set up all this stuff? Like, whenever somebody... Like, how much warning do they need that hunters are walking through their territory? Because it looks like it took a long-ass time for them to set up that camouflage.
Yeah, and aren't they supposed to also be nomadic? How does that work?
How does it work?
Like,
Carrying
that too.
Isn't carrying a book along kind of awkward if you're nomadic?
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, like there's some kind of, I don't know. There's some kind of weird prophecy stuff where he's examining it, and he just goes down and sees antler dude.
Okay.
I legit have no idea what this is supposed to mean.
That's supposed to be the two hunters. It's supposed to be a sign of the next thing.
Okay,
I know. It's the script.
Basically.
That explains
he's
a
looking
lot.
at spoilers.
Yeah, there's gonna be wolves. Wolf attack. Like in Power Rangers. And we see kind of the Harfoots. We see Nori. She's basically a Pippin Frodo archetype.
Mixed with a Disney princess.
There's so many wonders in this world beyond our wandering.
Oh my, that sounds... That is so freaking clunky.
Yeah, that whole scene just... I even joked with my mom, who... Me and my mom are watching this show. So, and I made the joke about Disney princess. Like, I honestly now want to do... I maybe just write a parody of it, of Nori's scene, but as a Disney princess.
I want much more than this provincial life.
Oh my god. Apparently I actually loved the ever-living crap out of that film when I was a little kid. And my parents keep telling me that I absolutely loved Beauty and the Beast. Never understood why. At least until recently.
Yeah, I loved it for very libido-related reasons.
God damn it, Don.
I actually hate most of the Disney Renaissance films, actually.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Hot take.
It's not real. It's not like it's just a personal thing. I especially hate Aladdin because of that lying storyline. I hate the liar reveal storyline. That is torture to me.
At least they do it better than most liar reveal stories, and they don't have a big lot like moping about it like they do in something like Chicken Run. At least
honestly, what's so weird is I love Chicken Run.
Oof.
That is so weird.
You are an interesting man. I feel the need to study you.
What? What did I just miss?
Yes, I'm weird.
All right.
Okay,
What did
I
he
haven't
say
seen
that
Chicken
was
Run
weird?
in a long while, so it could be nostalgia. So,
Oh, I see.
All right.
So,
All right.
yeah, let's
Ladies and gents, we are about an hour and 30 minutes in.
and we only gotten to the second of the 4 storylines.
Oh dear gosh.
Oh god.
Oh, these look pretty. These plants look pretty. Oh no, the accents.
But really, the Harfoots is actually the most easiest one because this is the most nothing happens ever.
Yeah, other than Hobo Gandalf.
I mean, I like Nori. She's kind of cute.
Yeah, but the thing is like it's not bad. It's just pointless.
It's if it weren't for the accents, I wouldn't mind so much. Oh, the Tengwar look cool.
Aaron is actually pretty fine.
Yeah, I don't really have that many problems with Elrond.
Yeah, he just sort of, hey, whatever.
He exists.
He exists.
And like,
He's
yeah,
fine.
and I think the actor does portray him well. It's just as, again, material.
Yeah, the main problem is the material. The dialogue is legit awful.
But you have not seen what I have seen.
Costumes are like 50-50.
What do you say?
Yeah. Constant
freaking-
50-50? Right. Ninja, you said something? Constant 50-50, I think?
Yeah, that's what I said. I just said like the costume designs are just 50-50. Some look good, some don't.
I like the
Especially the
plants.
armor.
Are you going to just say little random details that you like in Anchorman?
Every now and then I will. I have said substantial things earlier, but that's probably
I
I'm
know.
probably going to do that fairly often.
I know, I'm just making a joke. I know. It's a meme from Anchorman. I'll have to show you that sometime. I haven't watched the movie yet. I just need to watch. There's a whole thing where this guy says, "I love lamp. I love stairs." Stuff like that. It's really funny.
I like trains.
We'll have to see if I end up liking the stairs or not in this show.
Yeah, probably not as much as your conquests, I imagine.
No comment.
Aww.
Really, no comment.
It's all right. Get there one day.
I
Have
feel
faith
so
in you.
abandoned.
What should say?
I feel so abandoned.
Let's don't.
She's basically saying you had illicit affairs with her in in your younger days.
No, yes, really, no comment. I paid the blackmail anyway.
What was I worth?
I don't know.
It does release today.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not yet on Amazon on my end.
Didn't it come out like at midnight already?
Yeah.
Or am I
Okay,
confused?
it's probably a midnight thing.
No, it's supposed to come out like. Let me see.
Amazon is weird, okay? Last week they said it was Friday, but then they released it like literally on Thursday. And then now it's like every Friday it's supposed to be.
I watched it. That's when I watched it. It was last Thursday. And so I'm wondering, did the episode get released yet already or not? I have no idea.
I think that it. I believe that it has, yes.
I just checked it on my end. It hasn't.
Strange.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we will not be watching it right after.
Yeah. Could we just move to go to on the screen, go to the dwarf stuff like in episode 2?
Yeah.
Or at least go to Arondir.
Okay,
Because
it is not out yet. Okay.
Because the last 2 we really need to cover is Arondir and the dwarves.
Did you do Theo already?
No, that's
No.
Arondir. That's
'Cause
tied to
that's-
Arondir's story.
Okay, because I was like, I got totally confused as to what the blazes was going on with that.
He's going to be Kamul. That's his name. That's the new theory. He's either Kamul or the Witch King. That's why he has the Morgul blade.
Okay, but I had no notion whatsoever what was going on with that. I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it looks like the episodes drop at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So
Okay.
that's 10 p.m.
Oh,
Where
come
I
on.
am.
Wheel of Time was, at least the only good thing about Wheel of Prime was that it came out at a reasonable hour at like 5.
Oh, wait, hold on. What the heck are they saying? Hold on.
If
Even
it's
this
the
release schedule is screwed up. How on earth?
All right, so we have what in the world? So it says, 9 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time Thursdays. So yeah, it's 10 p.m. Mountain Time.
Oh, I have a theory.
oh, go for it.
The Witch King is going to turn out to be Jeff Bezos.
The Witch
Oh my
Jeff
God.
Bezos is not nearly cool enough up for that.
Yeah.
No, but he is sadistic enough for it, so
Yeah, true. So
I-
we have this whole thing with Galadriel refusing her call, which is semi-lore accurate. It removes a lot of the context.
Yeah.
She didn't want to
especially-
go because she wanted to be a queen. That's why she didn't want to go home to Valinor.
And apparently, she was one of the few exceptions of like, yeah, you're banned. You're still banned.
Yeah, there's different versions of the story, and none of them really got the final. I think the final word was that she would have been allowed to go, but she just jumped the gun and left too early, so she was technically under the ban, and blah blah blah. I thought it was just kind of lame. I liked better the one where she was fighting against Feanor, and that emphasized the enmity between her and Feanor. I think that would have made a really much better story.
Mhm.
you know, there is also something about the actual premise itself. So I remember earlier discussing the first episodes with my aforementioned cousin, and something he brought up was that it's also that a big reason why the pacing of the show feels off and all that stuff is because this is supposed to be a story that's taking place in a time of peace at the end of a conflict, but hundreds of years after the end of the conflict, and there doesn't seem to be any sort of tension or anxiety about the potential of yet a new conflict, because it just seems like everybody's busy brushing it under the rug and not really even bothering with the orcs. Like, there's a hollowness within the show in terms of conflict, and none of that and they don't try deriving the conflict from the only other place they could derive it from, and that is internal conflict. Like the characters themselves, how do the characters feel about the war being over and having spent their entire lives fighting it, and now that it's over, how do they readjust to the new world that they've created? That's what the story should be about. This also ties back in with Galadriel, because this should be her story. It should be her trying to readjust to the new times that she finds herself in. That's so yeah, there you go. That is another bit of my piece on the story, because it's not impossible to have a story taking the times and after war period, if you will. Like, that kind of story is not inherently going to be boring or vacuous or without heart or drama. You can still do that. It's just that they don't know where to derive that drama from. They clearly are trying to set up Galadriel over here for a character arc of some kind, with some sort of character, internal drama. But again, they're not talented. They don't seem to understand how to get that effect.
It's really frustrating.
I'm going to go and just wrap up my rant here.
Yeah.
So I have a
Yeah.
question in regards to that. Do elves experience PTSD?
Probably.
Yes.
It would appear that Galadriel
There's nothing to
has
tell.
a measure of PTSD. At least they reference that she has seen a lot of horrors and they're sticking with her. We don't see much evidence of that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't show it, but in the lore, yes. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that's
there's
part-
definitely
that's
characters who've done that.
that's the down. Oh, sorry. In Token Lord, that's like the downside of the elves' blessing is that yes, they can live on Earth for all eternity in their bodies, but sooner or later, all the tragedies of the world is going to weigh down upon them, and that's why Valinor is a thing. That's why the Noldor were advised not to go out to Middle Earth, and that's why they were explicitly banished until they experience great tragedies.
So perhaps that's something that would have been interesting for them to really touch upon in this particular show.
Yes,
there
absolutely.
There are characters who have definitely experienced PTSD who are elves. In the Silmarillion, I'm thinking of somebody from the story of Turian who was a thrall of Morgoth, and he escaped to the underground kingdom of Nargothrond, and he's still reliving his trauma from that.
Elrond.
I was thinking one of the sons of Fëanor, Maedhros, or whatever. I think that was his name.
Maglor? The musician one? Maglor.
Yeah,
Maglor.
Yeah, I can keep.
Yeah,
straight
you see all
the
this over here. All this over here. This actually goes to bolstering my suggestion, because this is already a running theme in Lord of the Rings. The impact and ripples effect that going through a violent conflict will usually have on a person. The lingering shadow, if you will.
Yeah, Elrond and his family is heavily part of their story is about trauma. Like Elrond's sons, after they find out about Celebrian, basically became Goblin Slayer.
Yeah. Yeah, they basically say, no, we're just going to go hunting. So, after this, we kind of have the terrible line. Wait, you have not seen what I have seen.
No, name it.
All I'm going to say is this would have actually been a perfect opportunity for Galadriel to actually share some of the shit that she experienced throughout the War of Wrath. Like, she could have asked him, have you ever seen what the insides of our kin looks like? And obviously, and Elrond is obviously horrified by that.
So in this story,
one at a time. Ninja, then Balerion. Deal.
Elrond would actually respond as have you ever seen kin slaying their own kin right before your eyes? Did you not perpetrate the first kin slaying? Given the implication that Galadriel was part of the first kin slaying, which was and Elrond did experience the second and third kin slaying.
Yeah. So what I was going to ask is not related to that, but to Sauron, because Sauron, we're seeing all these symbols of Sauron, these orcs and stuff, but Sauron, when he appears in the Second Age, spoiler, but at first he appears in a fair shape and he makes that like he's a good guy. So are they gonna do that?
I don't know.
I have no idea. There's a running theory that the guy that Galadriel meets on the raft is Sauron in disguise.
No, that would be a twist. Oh, they should have that would be a twist if they had an affair or something, and then whoops.
Thank you. I agree.
Don't mention it.
Supposedly Elendil and Galadriel are gonna have sex or something.
Oh God.
I don't know for sure, but there's just kind of a leak. There's a bunch of, with all films these days, there are leaks, but we will see whether or not these leaks are accurate.
God help us.
If it's a Rise of Skywalker situation or Game of Thrones Season 8 situation, they're basically one-for-one accurate. But if not, we will see. But yeah, after that we go into basically a concentration camp for Morgoth's old human followers.
I didn't get that.
Jesus, you got. Do you have to describe it like that?
Yeah,
Well-
I didn't really think about that. They just like set up an outpost. That's like it was more like they kept a watch.
The houses are too nice to be evil.
And
Like-
there are some people that are there's at least one idiot kid that's basically like, our king will come back and you knife ears will be thrown out idea.
Oh yeah, like that part is like, yeah, that's
It's a little bit on the nose.
Yeah.
it's
Like,
it's on the
dude.
nose.
Yeah. Like, dude, did you have to... But at the same exact time, did you have to really portray the human living underneath the oppressive heels of the elves who view them with contempt and hatred? Because you've just instantly made these people sympathetic already.
I
or
think
watching-
that's-
Like, the word guards, the more sympathy you have for the prisoners. The worse the prisoners, the more sympathy you have for the guards. That's usually the dichotomy. And the guards, they're pretty good.
Is Galadriel married? Is Galadriel even married to Celeborn yet?
Nope.
She's supposed to be, but she's not in the show. Celeborn
Yeah,
has been
they-
excised, it seems.
No. How convenient.
Yeah, and so I will say this: the reason why part of this is interesting to me, like this storyline, is that it doesn't really put both. It doesn't really make much of a statement because, like, you have that kid talking crap about the elf, and then you have the bar owner trying to. Like, basically a bar was about to start, but then you have Arondir grabbing his hand. And like
Hold on for a
like
second.
it's clunky, but Arondir basically says like the past sticks with us on that. I'm trying to remember the scene, like the exact lines in my head, but it's like it's like, yes, there's tension, but it's not like the show is giving saying like, oh, these are the obvious bad people you're supposed to sympathize with, and here's are the obvious people you're supposed to not sympathize with.
Yeah. It could be that there's kind of just elements of political commentary being placed on it by both sides that kind of impair certain readings of the show. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, and because it's also, if like the region, if it is the one of the two regions I'm thinking about, it's like, yeah, it's prime material for Sauron to do his stuff, because you don't like all Sauron shenanigans, because during the Second Age, Sauron was working in the east and the south for all of his influence, and this was before Numenor started becoming the British Empire.
Yeah.
Nope. I also had some commentary on this scene. I'm gonna go and just rescind it.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I don't really know what my commentary on the scene even was, other than you're painting the kid who is clearly to be a stand-in for this thing in a sympathetic light by having what he says about the situation, the reality of a situation, actually be, well, the reality of a situation. Don't do that.
I would say it's lazy. I would rather watch
It
something
is
like
lazy.
Legend of the Seeker. I would rather watch something like Legend of the Seeker than this, where at least I believe that the Legend of the Seeker writers think more highly of my intelligence than the Rings of Power our writers.
Legend of the Seeker is a riot.
It is, and it actually has some genuine pearls of wisdom at points.
Well, the people are nice and and you can sympathize with them.
Yeah,
They're good people. It's nice to have actual good people.
you're making me want to watch Legend of the Seeker. Yeah, watch Legend of the Seeker. It's
Dude.
free. It's perfectly free. You don't have to pay anything to watch it. Just watch the Legend of the Seeker. It's much better than this.
You can watch our commentaries of it.
Uh,
No, we're in episode 1. I would
doing
like.
both.
I would just like to just stick with more general stuff than like going scene by scene because it's gonna take a long while.
Yeah.
And like this show doesn't like this show, is like the amount of content in. If they just split up where like episode 1 is like Galadriel and Arondir story, or like Galadriel and Elrond, and then the dwarves, and then the next one is the Harfoots and Arondir stuff. That's like the amount of content we had. Like they are both just one half an episode. It's not like we're.
It's
Like, there's
basically a
not
2-hour premiere.
Someone was complaining that they skip about too much and the cutting doesn't work very well.
There's also such thin plot over these 2 episodes. There's barely anything to talk about.
Yeah.
So
I think Mahler put it best when he said that he watched. How is it that 2 hours of show felt like only 10 minutes?
Well, yeah, if you had to summarize the plot lines, how would you summarize them? Quickly.
All right. I'll go. Challenge accepted. So we have Galadriel's plotline, which is she's trying to look for Sauron, but she can't find any concrete evidence or convince anybody that he's real. So she gets sent over to heaven. She decides to not go to heaven and swims all the way back to Middle Earth instead. She runs into Guy, and then they crash onto shore. That's Galadriel's plot summarized.
Numenorians.
Yes.
The sea looks nice.
Freaking Harfoots. Meteor Man comes in from the sky. Meteor Man is Gandalf. Elrond's storyline. Elrond wants to help Guy build tower. Elrond goes over to dwarves. He speaks with the dwarf guy. Dwarf guy is angry with him, but he rolls for charisma and rolls a 20, so dwarf guy has to take him to his dad now.
Well, to be fair, the dwarf lady helped persuade the dwarf guy to be a little bit less.
Yeah, because the DM wants it. Like it was the case of like the DM went, okay, we can't move the plot forward. So.
Yeah. Also, freaking
Arondir.
ranger guy, Arondir. Yes, Arondir. He is in town. He watches over humans. Humans hate him for watching over them. He is boyfriend to girl. They go find town destroyed. He goes into tunnel. There's
after finding
stuff
out
in tunnel.
After he sees a cow spurt oil out of its udders.
Oh, I forgot about that weird thing with the cow.
Well, yeah, but it was also so like his introductory scene also talked about was like the first clue of like, oh, there's poison grass. There was mention of poison grass, and he's like, he couldn't get information about the poison grass, and then finally, when he was saying to his lady goodbye to head back to London, that's when the cow comes in, and he goes, oh, this is actually something important. I need to look into it.
Wow. Also, how convenient that this cow just so happened to have come back that day, and this guy just so happened to present it to this lady. And he also just so happened to be present at the time that this guy was presenting this cat to this lady, so that he could be tipped off to go over to this town that just happens to be destroyed. Yet nobody's heard that it has been destroyed until they investigated it just that day.
Also, accents.
Yes, accents suck.
No, like there is
Too
a
much.
amount of plot convenience that is acceptable. But that one was like, okay, that is somewhat acceptable. That scene is like, okay, that's just typical in stories.
Oh,
Or, like,
you'd be you'd be correct, Lady Balefire. Except the fire isn't hot, and there, you see, they established earlier in the show that if a place is evil enough, the fire isn't warm. However, this is Gandalf, so no, that's not the rule. Fire just isn't burning them because reasons.
Well,
I actually hope that it's actually Sauron. That would be funny.
Well,
Saruman.
if came from the sky as Sauron, that would be amusing.
No, Sauron, not Saruman. Sauron.
Sauron, that would be amusing. Yes.
Holy God.
That
Except
would
I
be
really
hilarious. It's like the inverse trope. Oh, you think the hobbits are going to help the good guys? Nope.
Yeah. You're saying
also, yeah, Trip was the one who pointed. Yeah, I'll let her speak.
oh no, I was just going to say when we were actually watching the episode, I think Kai had mentioned something about the fact that, okay, yeah, this is Gandalf, and maybe that's why he has such close ties to the hobbits, because they helped him, so, he's known them from the very beginning.
But we need a sex scene between Sauron and Galadriel.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, I was also going to point out that
Galadriel was for Frodo.
God.
Well, there's a reason why.
Why does that script exist? Why does it exist? That stupid smut piece.
That's why I've got my avatar, though. This is because Sauron is a combination of Mick Jagger and Punch, and this is Punch. So that's where that came from. That's Borman's to blame for that.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait a second. I could have sworn I just heard Tarek say you're one to talk from a distance.
Well,
in regards to my earlier...
No, go with you.
In regards to my earlier comments about calling that script a smut piece.
Oh, I see what he means, but yes, but no.
Yeah.
You're saying.
I mean,
Trip first, then Valerian. Sound good?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So, who thinks the shining jewel or whatever in the box at the very end is the Arkenstone, or are they going to subvert our expectations?
I think it's Mithril.
I mean, yeah, I've been hearing rumors that it's actually Mithril as well.
Yeah, like some people actually assumed it was the Silmaril. I don't think so. I think it's more likely that Mithril.
Oh yeah, I did hear the one about the Silmaril. Well, at least they have people guessing, so there's one mystery box that seems to be successful.
Well, mystery box is successful once it's paid off. Also, I wanted to point out that... Yeah. I also wanted to point out that Trip over here is the one who said... in this scene over here, she's the one who said that no, she doesn't actually think that the fire is cold because this guy is evil. She just... I did not want to take credit for not giving them credit.
Oh yeah, and Ozark, I completely agree. Ozark Eagle, I completely agree why it's not the Silmarils, but like, I think it's at this point, a lot of theories, people are just picking up the most dumb theory.
Yeah, to be fair, who knows whether they're going to actually follow the lore or not.
Oh my god! Wait a second. It is literally a mystery box.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah,
in the
it is.
box? Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's in the box?
Well, at least they don't have 3 boxes, so it's not like, ooh, what's in box number 1 or box number 2 or.
God.
At least it's not. Well, the funny thing is, Legend of the Seeker had 3 magic boxes, but the point of it was just assembling the boxes, and you knew exactly what the boxes did.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of it. There is some inaccuracies. Actually, a lot of differences between token lore and stuff. It's like you can easily nitpick the lore to bits, but there is like also weirdly like also they mention certain things too to a surprising amount. It's not like a total like we're excising the lore and doing our own. I kind of lean more towards they're starting the line of what they can do based on the rights they have.
Yeah.
To be fair, yeah, they got those 9 pages of the appendices.
I think that the Harfoots actually might be a majority of episode 2. And then
Yeah.
Beginning part.
Wonder nothing seemed to have happened.
Oh yeah. The town where the orcs are very neat in their burning of a town and kidnapping people.
Indeed.
My god, I almost thought you said that for a second.
Like I'm gonna assume that it's either the people joined the orcs or these orcs are the most competent orcs ever. Not one kill.
I mean, it could just be that they ate all the bodies. So,
well,
you know,
they actually explicitly said no signs of wounds, so no blood.
Oh, okay, that's weird.
Yeah, that's why they said it was weird.
Yeah,
that's why your runner said this is weird. It was pointed it out.
Huh. I might have missed that. Well, good job, show. You got one over on me.
Like, that's why Arondir is investigating. If it was just a simple, like, oh, there's dead people in there, he would probably go and call his elf buddies to start, like, an actual investigation. It's like, because they know, oh, there's an actual bandit raid going on. But he doesn't even know what's going on.
I mean, yeah, we're only left to speculate as to the fate of that entire village. And, it's pretty weird. Hopefully they have a good explanation for it.
Yeah. Then after that, we go to Elrond. We mentioned it earlier, where Celebrimbor is trying to build this spectacular forge. And apparently Morgoth could have been redeemed.
I think it's the way it was said. It's like supposed to be like a legend.
Yeah.
It was said it was, and plus like you're doing unreliable narrator moment where it's like Celebrimbor this is really telling you the motivations Celebrimbor what his key motivation if that will drive him to be part of the reason the Rings of Powers exist.
Well, yeah.
Yep. No.
The scene had some pretty interesting dialogue. We pointed out. Does anyone else want to step in and chat about this scene?
No,
Aside,
like
the
Auron,
phallic-shaped buildings, of course. Besides that,
Where even are we?
Episode 2.
where
Oh, are we with the dwarves now?
We're almost to the dwarves, yeah.
they look like the tops of Gandalf's staff in the
And
No comment,
Yeah, they did.
except this might be illustrations for Borman's script.
Probably.
Sorry.
See ya.
I hate you guys.
Well, you did miss the Arena of Vaginas in Attack of the Clones.
No! Kill it.
I watched that movie many times. I still can't see it that way. Maybe I might
Yeah.
rewatch it, and I might see it that way, and it will be your fault, and I will resent you for that.
Yeah, I sorry, I don't see these towers as phallic shape. It's like, oh, it's typical, like designs I saw with like Gandalf's staff and stuff. So
You see, this is what happens when I try taking other people's ideas.
Yeah, they're not particularly.
yeah, but anyway, so let's get to the cool part about the dwarves.
Yeah, they have a
What their accents?
rock smashing contest.
I will also say that the
Why does this
music
place look so
is
good?
actually pretty decent. Like Bear McCreary
Yeah.
did a pretty good job with the soundtrack.
You know, everybody's been saying that about this bit. I didn't really notice the music all that much. I was too awe-inspired by the visuals. Because I looked at this place, I'm like, oh my god, this place is actually cool.
It looks
Yeah.
really
Actually
nice.
very nice. Yeah, it looks like an actual set.
I like the plants. I like the water, and I even like. Well, I guess I like the stairs. Well, they're gone now.
As somebody who loves the dwarves in Tolkien, yes, there is a lot of changes, especially with Durns. Like I know what they did, massive lore changes there as well. But oh my goodness, like I love how they make Khazad-dûm unique yet similar to what you expect, and I didn't notice the music until later when somebody recommended it, and then I actually listened to the Khazad-dûm soundtrack, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Like the music does what good music does, where it's like it doesn't override. It's a good supplement to what's going on the screen.
Yeah. No, seriously, look at this place. This place is freaking sick.
Yeah, it looks very pretty.
Yeah, nice work.
It
Good,
is.
good job, CGI team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the visual effects team, like I will always the visual effects team should be applauded.
Yeah,
And-
I would
and-
agree.
Yeah, you know what? Knowing the way that visual effects teams have been treated in recent years, yes, I will excuse. I'm going to just go ahead and excuse any and all of visual effects, shenanigans, because I think the reason why it's bad is it because the visual effects teams are incompetent. I think it's because they're not being given enough time to work on it, or they're being rushed, or worse, they're getting constant curveballs to work with.
Game of Thrones,
Game of Thrones still looks good for the most part.
Yeah, but they did get a lot. There's a lot of stuff where they had to do things at the last minute or after the last minute.
Yeah.
It was in the bit with the fire in King's Landing is interesting, where you can still see bits of the wildfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Legacy. Visual effects don't get no respect, and you should also remember, like people who would be complaining about visual effects, most movies are made with incomplete green screen. at this
Yeah.
point. And that's
Yeah.
sad. Gone are the days where where you just have like a model
Or a set.
or like you film on location. And also I love this bit because I thought they were going to do a drinking contest.
Oh my god.
Did you think they were going to
Imagine-
do a drinking contest?
No, I didn't. But now that you mention it, I'm like, oh my god, that would have been like the most dwarfish shit in the world.
Well, because the setup, it's like, oh, okay, a challenge is like, drinking contest, and then, they're doing a hammer contest. That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew from the trailer and some like trailer breakdown info that this was going to be a competition.
I didn't notice that. Then again, I only saw like the trailers once.
I never really paid much attention to the trailers. Like, I was largely indifferent to most of this. But
I don't blame you. After that, we have more discussion with the Harfoots and not Gandalf or Gandalf, whichever
It
determines.
would be funny if it is Radagast the Brown.
Yeah, it would be funny. Do not talk to me of Radagast the Brown. He is a foolish fellow. Well, he's odd, I grant you. There's a solitary life. It's not that. It's his excessive consumption of mushrooms. Best line ever.
Nice.
I have a bit where he's basically a voodoo guy. There's
What?
that bit.
Someone
where-
just died.
And yeah, Ninja's gone.
Oh, he's back.
Just as I was trying to mute.
Yeah, no worries.
Ah.
But apparently this guy has voodoo magic or voodoo doll magic because he cracks a stick and then
Or is it just convenient editing?
I don't think so because the guy seems like he's fine, but then as soon as he's fine, he's braced. Ooh.
But why? Even if so, I'm sorry, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why? What would be the purpose? What is Gandalf or not Gandalf actually gaining out of that exchange?
Clearly he's trying to tell people. He's either having information overload where he's trying to tell somebody where he needs to go, but
Could
he's
it
in a
be
mortal
that-
body.
Could it be that he doesn't even speak Hobbitese? Maybe he's just not used to. Did he just recently get incarnated? Maybe, in which case he wouldn't even necessarily be sure how to communicate other than through telepathy or whatever way the Maiar and the Valar communicate.
Right, but if he's responsible for the other guy, basically twisting his foot so badly because of what he's doing here, which is what they're insinuating with these cuts, right? But I mean, but why?
Yeah, I don't know if it's convenient editing. It seems very much. It seems like he's holding up fine, but then
Having a hard time controlling magic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, yeah.
And then it snaps.
Oh, so really just a case of, he's over there doing magic, but is going to have effects he is completely unaware of on the world. So they're trying to foreshadow some different catastrophes that not Gandalf causes as he's trying to get used to Middle Earth.
Oh, yes, this whole...
Yeah. Well, let's finish up with the Harfoots.
I have no idea.
Wait. Ozark Eagle. The mark on the tree is Gandalf's sign he put on Bilbo's door.
Blue wizard.
One of the blue wizards, like, what was the name? Alatar and Palando.
Yeah,
Meteor
that
Man
actually
begs
seems cool.
to Meteor Man begs to differ, judging by the hole in the satellite fissure. Then after that,
We're gonna hear that a lot.
Oh god.
That is backward symbol that he puts on Frodo's door. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it seems as though they're probably just going to try. I'm leaning towards Gandalf because of the fact that they can just kind of go do the member berries thing, which it seems as though a lot of Hollywood wants to obsessively be trot out.
And
I'm gonna just go and regard this whole entire ankle snapping incident as just a red herring, because it's. I can see where you guys are coming from with the theory crafting, but I think it's just editing.
I'm not even theory crafting. I'm just saying, like, it's probably just it's just like, I just think that's weird, and it's like, could be just editing, but I'm just like, I'm not even theory crafting. I'm just like, yeah, it just looks like he's doing it, and he's probably gonna kill all the Harfoots anyway.
So anyway, the symbol is, the symbol that Gandalf was uses in The Lord of the Rings, or I think also in The Hobbit, is the rune for his name, Gandalf. So if there is a backwards G rune, then that would be further evidence that we're right, that it is Gandalf, right?
Possibly. And I think
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, if it's backwards, wouldn't that mean the opposite?
So who's the opposite of Gandalf?
The anti-Gandalf, Sauron, or I don't know. Seriously,
the anti-Gandalf. Yeah, maybe.
Or it's just like a regular. In this version of Tolkien's lore, it's just a symbol for wizards.
That is a good possibility, and we will put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, just this little hilarious bit about the people of the raft. Oh, let's help this person. Oh, she's an elf. What?
Basically,
she's a Numenori. We're Numenorian suckers.
Oh, did anyone mention? You probably already mentioned it. I totally forgot about this scene. Somehow you just reminded me of it. Where Galadriel is doing at the beginning, she's doing this boat, and they're like, the bullies all sink her boat or something. Doing these paper boat things. I totally forgot about that scene. Oh god.
Yeah, the princess of the Noldor is getting bullied by the peasantry. How droll.
And she decided to snap back a bit in this one. This is her meanness.
No wonder she has an attitude. She got oppressed.
Yeah, they have a giant sea serpent, which is fine. They have the Watcher in the water. There's sea monsters in Tolkien's universe.
Yeah, there's also a monster turtle in one of the poems.
Really? I didn't know that. Cool.
A turtle or a whale, but it looked like kind of like a giant turtle. To me, maybe it was actually meant to be a whale.
So that's where Terry Pratchett got his idea for Arthur and the World Turtle.
Maybe.
Yeah. Then we just have a sea serpent attack. Then we finish up there. Then we have probably my favorite bit of the show.
Except the accents.
You mean
Yeah.
everyone's favorite bit of the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get because during honestly, you have all the all the actors did a very good job, and this is like a good mix of characterization and progressing the plot.
Yeah.
Like, I am sold that Durin and Elrond are friends, and I'm sold that Durin is hurt by Elrond's aloofness of being gone for 20 years and not even writing a letter. And I can tell that Elrond didn't realize he screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
So why didn't he write a letter for 20 years? I mean, is it because he's an elf and doesn't notice that 20 years just passed? Because
Probably.
Maybe he was just busy being a politician.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fact that he didn't so much as write a letter towards his friend here really does hurt the narrative quite a bit.
It's just, it's honestly, it's just like a forced conflict thing where it's like they wanted to have conflict in. They didn't want to give Elrond too much of easiness. Like, he can't just go up to his buddy Durin. They wanted to have. They were just trying to find conflicts in the story for stuff to feel more interesting.
Yeah, no,
I do like
that's
Princess
pretty much
Diva.
it.
Out of all the characters, she's the one I like best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
except
she's
for her
definitely
accent.
pretty good.
Except for her accent.
Okay, yeah, we'll just have to bar the accents for pretty much the entirety of the show because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valerian, I think we all know accents are not good. It's just,
but yeah, it's just still, it's this entire scene is like the one thing that I actually like in the entirety of the show so far, because it is the most human thing I've seen. Like, it's just people having dinner together and talking about
Just sort
how
of
they feel
socializing.
about something, and yeah,
It kind of follows very typical Hollywood comedy tropes, but it is very amusing for all that. Like the wife and old married couple bickering type thing.
Yeah.
And also, it feels a bit more like we're in like it does feel a bit more Tolkienian because of like, hey, we're in like a peaceful time, like merriment going on.
And the tree is pretty.
Yeah.
Well, and the role reversal is so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like this exchange. I think the exchange at least is.
Yeah, that's kind of amusing. Mildly amusing. That's mildly amusing. Fair enough. He's still he's leaving.
No, honestly, this entire scene was actually extremely wholesome, and I love it. And I would have wanted more of this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll get more.
This is definitely a scene I would watch on YouTube again.
Yeah. Was the trip lady saying something?
I was just saying maybe we will get more of it.
I'm just being polite.
Oh, I hope so.
I think he's paranoid of me now.
I always call people weird stuff like that, though.
Oh.
Yeah, for whatever. Yeah, he started calling me Bright Lord just apropos of after him reading the Stormlight Archive.
Yep, and then of course I changed it to Brat Lord.
Yeah.
Well, that's appropriate.
Perhaps.
There's also Blight Lord.
Ozark Eagle hit it on the net. It's wholesome filler that reinforces friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell it's hard even to tell what's filler and what's not at this stage.
I mean, Yeah, because this whole entire plot line could end up going absolutely nowhere, so
God.
this could have all just ended up being.
Oh look,
Oh yeah,
that
did
is Sauron.
back to
Galadriel
storyline.
and random shop.
It was probably Sauron.
That would be hilarious.
Oh, that'd be a riot,
I
yeah.
think I've already efficiently summarized this. I
They're just
think
on
I've
a
already efficiently summarized this. Galadriel meets
Wait.
Sky.
Are we in the
Yeah,
orc fight?
same.
Yeah, we can probably
Oh,
just
yeah.
skip to the orc fight.
Or the fireflies were. I liked the fireflies.
Yeah, the
Or is
firefly
that
moment.
way?
That's in the future. We haven't skipped over that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the orc fight was actually another highlight for me. I actually really enjoyed that they came up with a cool idea of we're not just we're going to showcase how dangerous these orcs are by giving the people who are the least likely able to handle orcs and have one orc. They have to kill one orc.
I do like the hand acting to a certain extent. It is, and I think that these orcs seem to have very much either they have been severely injured over their fighting, or they just kind of have kind of malformities, which works fine. But yeah, I think the action here at least is decent. I don't care about either of the characters though. That's the main
Who are these
problem.
people?
Theo and
so-
Bronwyn.
Okay.
Yeah, Bronwyn is Arandir's love interest, and Theo is the boy with the sword that may or may not become a Nazgul.
Okay. I hope he does. That'd be cool to watch someone becoming a Nazgul and be destroyed and have their soul destroyed and turn evil.
It would be cool in the hands of people who are competent.
Oh, it might be even more cool. It might be even more fun to watch in the hands of people who aren't competent.
Undoubtedly. It would be hilarious.
Yeah.
I do like that they have bone faces like cow skulls.
I think the idea is they're a bit more feral. Without Morgoth, like they don't have a core leader to fuel their industries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, without.
Cut off the head and the body will die. Or
Sorry,
at least
I go
wither.
first or you go first?
Now you go.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that might actually be what they're going for over here is the fact that since they don't have leadership, they're just falling apart. Yeah, because, well, there's nobody to guide them. There's no direction, so they're just kind of animalistic at this point.
So they need Sauron.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he's on a raft in the middle of the ocean.
With an attractive lady.
Yeah.
I originally thought
So,
that they were going to choke the orc out.
That would be pretty interesting and would be pretty dark, I think. But yeah, they
Well,
end up just decapitating him. Go for it. Sorry.
I gather you guys like the orc fight scene, and for me, there was no real dread or.
Yeah.
What was that stuff over in the arch? It looked like writing. It was back. That arch thing.
Are you talking about in the tavern?
No, in this scene, there was this arch. There was this arch with what looked like it was writing or some kind of carving on it.
It could just be that they're just random carvings.
Yeah, maybe. I can't.
Yeah, I think this would have been stronger if they just done the Arondir part more together with this. Though what looks like carving could be just like spaces between the four boards.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't think that they necessarily have that much intentionality behind a lot of their creative aesthetic decisions.
Yeah, without actually seeing them again.
You know, I think I'm actually going to go and hop off. I'm starting to. Clearly, at this point, I don't really have much more to commentate on. Like
Yeah,
again,
like
I've said this multiple times now, and I feel like a broken record. But I am starting to. I just don't have any care for this. I never thought this was going to be good to begin with. I gave it a chance. Still wasn't good. I'm talking about it again. Yeah, it's still not good.
We
I've
also have
already
to worry
said.
about. I'll go for it. Sorry. No, go for it. Sorry.
Yeah, I also said it from before that this entire show feels like overcompensating, like they're trying so hard to create something deep and poignant and meaningful, but we all know that it's literally just a skin suit. That's all this is. This is literally just a skin suit, and I feel tainted for having ever watched it.
Oh, poor show.
There's also. Oh, go for it.
I don't think it's like I think the team wanted to do the story right as much as they can, but they were severely limited in their ability and the fact that they had to work within the restrictions Amazon had on the rights.
9 pages.
And like you clearly, there are parts where I see the passion for like some aspects of tokens because I remember building up that they really loved the dwarf stuff. So like, and those were the best parts, and but then you have elements like the armor, or even what we mentioned about the scenes. Like, there's not a lot of visual design in like the house where that orc fight is, and they're trying to do things. It definitely it looks like a show that went through production hell, and it's surprising of how good quality that we got. And that is the truth of the show. The show is it's a show that went through production hell, and
Yeah.
and it's a mixed bag. I would call it's a mediocre show that I happen to enjoy it, and there are some enjoyable parts to it.
Yeah. I'm just mostly bored because I'm not invested in anything that's going on. Then we have Bronwyn showing the orc off, the dead orc off, and she says we need to leave. And Theo grabs his Morgul blade.
It happens after the storm.
Yeah. And then the storm happens. They head out.
Oh, fireflies.
Yeah. Then Galadriel is saved by Sauron, Halbrand, whichever. And there's a weird mystery box thing where he has this pouch around his neck that says there's some mystery behind it. No idea what it could mean.
Not the One Ring, surely.
Probably not.
Bother. But yeah, they've not made it yet. Oh, Celebrimbor turns up at some point during these two episodes.
Yeah, it was earlier in the episode.
Yeah, he's talking about the Forge.
Went to the Elves.
Who was the chap who was going to be Celebrimbor's assistant? Who was that chap?
When Macy, and then next one.
Yeah, because there was some chap who they apprenticed to Celebrimbor. Who was that?
Are you thinking of Elrond?
Is that who it was?
Might be.
Yeah, I mean, I get so confused.
Elrond has been tasked with helping Celebrimbor with building his giant phallic tower forge thing.
No comment.
Then, like Trip was putting earlier, they have the fireflies, and the Magic Man is bringing new constellations. Yeah.
Spoiler, but the firefly, one of the fireflies ends up getting the one ring and taking over the world.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Yep, that's where we're heading.
Yep.
You heard it here first.
Yep. And there's the stars scene. Pretty nice visuals. Then we have Theo grabbing the Nazgul blade or the Morgul blade. He has a vision, it looks like.
Except this time, it doesn't. It takes blood to make it longer. So we see him how evil he is based on the length of his sword.
No comment.
God damn it. You know, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like,
Yeah, well,
we've done it. We've done it. Thank you very much, everyone.
What do you mean you've done it? That's not even a grammatically correct
Somehow,
sentence with my name.
Like, I think it's like, yeah, we're done. We covered everything.
Yep. Pretty much have.
There's
nothing left. We're all finished. That was the Rings of
And
Power.
Numenor's next episode. Let's see how they screw up Numenor.
Yep, we're about to see.
For some reason, we've just got rampant degeneracy. I don't really know what's going on here.
Not yet. They haven't got the degeneracy yet. That's coming up later.
A parent wearing Alfarazon and Tarmiriel, even though the Rings of Power have not been made yet.
So the Numenor. I think I remember seeing something from that in the first trailer that looked attractive.
The landscape looks good. The city looks good. But by the way, I think there was actually a description in Tolkien lore, apparently with the Numenorians specifically, that is actually a bit more physical description than them having gray eyes and were tall.
Yeah, I don't really know much more to say about this. Don't watch this. To anybody out over there who just happens to stumble upon this podcast one day, don't watch this goddamn show. It is not worth your time. Go watch the House of Dragons instead, or some other show that just happens to be out over there that's probably far superior to this garbage. Because I do not want anybody to have to suffer through this crap.
Go watch Legend of the Seeker.
It's free.
Yep,
That's right.
Yep, watch Legend of the Seeker. And Legend of the Seeker and House of the Dragon.
So as someone who's not a Game of Thrones fan, so I'm not gonna, of course, not going to recommend anything Game of Thrones related. Who I would recommend this to is, one, have you only seen Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogy, and you played the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games, and you just want to get new Lord of the Rings content. Just want it. You're dying for new Lord of the Rings content.
But you don't want to read the actual books.
For you. This is the show for you. If you don't want to read the books, if you're a Tolkien fan, and if you want to watch the highest quality consume the highest quality content of Tolkien, this show is not for you. If you're like me, who's just curious about the show, at least the first season, I would recommend it. If you're just curious about it. but in terms of quality, it's just a mediocre show. If you're going in hating it, you're just gonna hate it more. If you're going in with like expecting to love it as like the second coming of Tolkien, you're gonna think it that way. If you're neutral on it, it's just gonna be a disappointment.
Yeah.
Overall, it's a beautiful thing to look at. If you only care about visuals, it's beautiful to look at the locations and stuff, and the music is pretty good too. But in terms of the actual writing, if you care at all about writing, it's poor. It's like subpar. It's complete amateur fanfics. This is clearly the guys' first time writing a show. Like I believe it's slightly better than me writing.
I think that I could write a better show.
I don't have that much confidence.
I mean, I've presented my stuff in front of you guys before already. The feedback that I've gotten from all of you is that what I've wrote is already better than this.
Well, you can, and if you think it's a wild boast, my work is publicly available on Amazon itself, so you can buy it there, or if you so choose.
Yeah, I don't have that confidence boost of like people liking your work, my writing, so, because I actually haven't written fully yet.
Well, I don't have no idea who likes my writing or not, other than in the like few reviews that I've gotten, which is only in the 10s.
Well, we need to bump those numbers up, Dun.
Thank you. I appreciate review bombing when it's positive. Anyway,
my recommendation: if you want to watch this show, turn your brain off and do it with a bunch of other people and turn your brain off.
And drink copious amounts of alcohol.
That will probably improve it. Anyway, but unfortunately, I'm going to be watching it sober, so...
Bother.
You know what? I'm probably just not going to watch any more of it. I'm done. No.
Are you now?
Sorry. That's incorrect. I am not done. I am finished. Thank you very
But Wistia, we will miss you. You're such a,
Okay, only with enough public demand, with at least popular demand. Or if I got nothing better to do.
There's going to be a petition now on online petition. It's going to get 1 million votes.
It'll be the next remake Game of Thrones Season 8 petition.
Yeah, kill it, Dad.
All right.
Maybe I might be back. Who knows?
We'll see. Either way, I think what is probably going to happen, at least what I'm going to be trying to do, is do more evening streams, at least starting after the 19th.
What's starting after the 19th?
My new job.
Oh, that gives us some time.
Not much, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we will get to watch House of the Dragon next week.
Oh, House of the Dragon is not an issue. It's just a matter of when we stream is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Work and real life screws up everything. But I have a plan that will basically involve just doing it in the evening, like right after the show comes out or something, right after I get home from work. Either way.
All right.
But,
goodbye, everyone. Good night.
Right. I feel like this is appropriate.
The fact is, Starscream, despite your treachery, I've allowed you to carry on this long because I took a certain delight in following your string of failures. But you finally become tiresome, predictable. You've hit rock